Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh gosh, I'm still trash at this. I'm still trash at getting my life together. I gotta get out the sun. Hey girl, let's get a couple people on here and then we can get started. Let me turn up the volume, even though it doesn't. Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, that matters. Volume matters. Hey girl. Okay, Miss Handie, you have to send me an invite. Do you know how to do that? I guess I can add you in. Hi everybody. Guys, we're going to give it a couple minutes, wait for more people to come in, and then we can get this shit started. Okay, perfect. I'm going to leave that in there. Guys, I don't know if y'all getting this a lot on your Instagram, but I get so many like porn stars. Is that just me? I have this one girl that has this like logo thing that's called, I see it, Miss Handie, called like Watch My Pussy. She's always like looking at my stuff. I'm like, girl, I don't want to watch your pussy. And why are you looking at my shit? Why are you watching my pussy? Not my pussy, but like my mouth. Why are you watching me? Why are you watching me talk? It's really weird. So, I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, let's give it a couple more minutes and then we can get started. This is always like the weird time for me because I'm like, do I start now? Do I wait? Do I whatever? For people that are new here, my name is Nikki Frias. I'm the creator of Girltellme.com. We are a publishing platform, media company that kind of promotes everything that wants to be women. So if you got anything, you want to submit something, you want to be on this show. No, girl, I'm not keen on porn stars. I'm like, watch my pussy 27. No, girl, not today. It's a Monday. I had to watch my own pussy I had to look at my own pussy in the shower. Like, that's enough pussy for me today. But but if you guys ever want to be a part of Girl Tell Me, if you want to get a piece published or do something like that, submit me your shit. Oh, my hair look cute. I'm getting it dyed. I'm getting my hair done on Friday. New hair. Okay, Miss Handie, I'm going to bring you in just because we're getting everything started. And I already lost one person. They were like, okay, this woman has said pussy in the last 3 minutes, multiple times. I'm out. And they left. So, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me get you in here. Did you get it? Where you at? You coming? Miss Handie, I sent you a request. Look at you.
What?
Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, you look so fucking beautiful right now.
Oh my God. I just put makeup on about an hour ago. So anyway,
Miss
thank
Handie,
you.
you look fly. I like the finger waves.
Oh, thank you. It's it's 1,000 degrees here every day. So
Where you at again? I forgot.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So and
I mean,
it's a miracle that I figured out how to join, how to do all this. So I'm so
girl, is that me or you? Is that your connection or my connection?
I don't know. It's probably mine. I'm still at work.
Damn, Miss Handie, can you get on the Wi-Fi? Or can you tell somebody to pay for the Wi-Fi?
So I don't look like I'm stuck. Does it look like I'm stuck?
Yeah. No, not stuck, but it's like blurry.
Oh, is it? Oh, darn. Dang.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It's okay. We can rock with it. And if it gets backed up.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll clear up. I don't know what to do to fix it.
Let's hope. Do you have any service there or are you on Wi-Fi?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Well, we'll get there. Okay, Miss Handie. So, welcome to Girl Tell Me Something. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm so excited to have everyone kind of get to know you, get to know your story. Hey, Rachel, what's up, girl? Kind of talk about you because I think you're such a light. I think you're so bright and you're so interesting. We talked a little bit about, I was a guest on your podcast, and I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Let's get this shit going. So let's put the spotlight on you.
Okay. Well, thank you. So is it still blurry?
No, it's great now.
Okay. Okay. Good. So, I don't know what you want me to talk about or not talk about, but
Miss-
um,
Whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I know. Thank you, Rachel. I think, well, first of all, we don't know, at least I don't, or I don't know like all the details about Dr. Phil and Oprah. Those are like your things that everybody's gonna be like, what the hell? What's going on with that? So I definitely want to talk about that. I want to talk about your business. I want to talk about, I know we were talking about just kind of your journey through divorce. Like, girl, whatever you want to talk about, I'm here for.
okay. Well, first of all, I'm so happy to be here. I love you. I think you're so hilarious. But
Ah,
so 20 years ago, I was online and I love the Oprah Winfrey Show. So back then she had Dr. Phil on the show every Tuesday, and I love Dr. Phil too. And I'd been married for about 6 months, and
mm-hmm.
about a month after I got married, my job decided to close. And so my husband didn't want to move or anything, so here I was without a job. So now, being a newlywed, now we've got financial pressures, and then both of us not knowing what the heck we're doing in terms of being married. So that's where I was. And so I
Yeah.
got online on Oprah's website, and they said, well, here's an offer to be locked in a room with Dr. Phil for 5 days and send us whatever your issue is. And so that's what I did. I talked about being married. I talked about
Wow.
being extremely negative because I'd always been a negative person, but I also lost my grandfather around that time. And so I was extremely depressed and going through all this grief and stuff. So I sent my story in, and by that time, I had just started working at this job. And so I sent my story in, had no vacation time or nothing, didn't even expect to be picked, but lo and behold, I got picked. So
Wow.
out of more than 15,000 applicants, they chose 42 people, and I was one of them. They also chose my husband to go, but he chose not to. So I went by myself.
Okay.
And so people from all over the country, husbands, wives, single folks, all different ages, races, all of us having different issues that we wanted to try to work through. And so I told you what mine was. So 5 days later, and I'm just shortening this, but 5 days later, we all walked out of there having delved into our deep issues directly with Dr. Phil. So what happened was I became a brand new person in Chicago, but then I go home and I've got the husband that's still the same. And so I'm looking at him with new eyes, even though I've transformed, but he hasn't. So now all of a sudden the same person that he was is no longer working for me. And so that causes
Wow.
some issues, right? So caused some issues in the marriage. So we went to counseling and all of that, but it still didn't work out, and we ended up getting a divorce. And it was the best thing that has ever happened to me. I didn't have one moment of sadness about it. And I don't fault him in any way. It was just, we had no business being married in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And I often wonder how his life would have transformed if he had taken advantage of the same opportunity that I had, because everything in my
Yeah.
life transformed for the better.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of crazy that he was given that opportunity and didn't. He probably, I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming, but like, kind of the shtick of like Oprah, Dr. Phil, it can be intimidating. You don't really know kind of what the hell it is. And then you have somebody and you don't know in what capacity it is. And I mean, I can't imagine, but damn, that's crazy.
Well, it was very intimidating. And just like what you see Dr. Phil doing, I think maybe now he's a little bit milder. But back then, that was when he was, first getting going, first in military,
Oh, damn.
all the mean stuff
You're
that
breaking. Okay.
all of the mean stuff that you see, that's exactly how he was. And then he had a team of people who were just like that. So, I mean, it was like, it was very strict. You have to do this, you got to show up at this time, whatever we tell you to do. And if you get out of line, you got checked in a major way, but it was beneficial. It was all designed to help us to become better in the end. But there were times that I called
Yes.
my mom. I was like, I want to come home. I don't want to do this, but I stayed.
Wow. So do you think that was one of those things that completely changed your life? Like changed your outlook on life, changed everything?
Absolutely. So that started this whole 20-year professional, personal development journey that I've been on. And I'm sorry this keeps locking up. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, that started all of that. So I told you I was extremely negative. And so I got out of that pattern, trying to have a different mindset, getting into being more creative. That's when I really started to write. I started to speak because I hated public speaking. I am an extreme introvert. And so then I started
Mm.
intentionally getting out and trying to practice being more comfortable in front of people. So this whole thing, the reason I'm here even with you right now is all because of that moment with Dr. Phil for that week that we were there in Chicago with him.
Wow. So question, when they were talking about, you said you were very negative, right?
Yeah,
And that was from, I'm assuming, past trauma and things that have happened in your life that you were kind of like, I just, I assume at a certain point you get to a negative space because nothing seems positive around you, right? It gets to a place where you're in such a stuck place that you're kind of like, what's the fucking point? You know,
absolutely.
out of it. So, what are some things that you like had to go through that did change not like a personal question, but like from your intensive therapy with Dr. Phil and kind of your process? Like, what were some things that they had you do that you noticed were things that you still apply to your life today?
Well, one of the major things that he did, which really shocked me out of the darkness that I was in, Dr. Phil was talking to someone sitting next to me, and he said, "Do you want to be invisible like Tamela?" And so I didn't know that. I'm thinking I'm very visible. I'm here. I've got my hair done. I got myself together because I'm going to be
Yeah.
on Oprah. I got my cute clothes and all this stuff. And even with all of that, I was still invisible. But I didn't know
Wow.
aging. I wasn't showing up. I wasn't
Damn.
participating in
Huh?
life. And not,
Cut out, girl. You cut out.
I'm sorry. So not just not participating in that room, I wasn't participating fully in life. And so when he
Damn.
said that I was invisible, that's what shook up everything for me because I've got all these ideas in my head. I'm intelligent, I'm creative, but I'm not sharing that with the world. So when someone looks at me, they don't know what I have to offer because I'm not stepping up and showing them that. And so that alone is what got me to the point where I said, I got to do more because I've got all these ideas. I want to do poetry. I want to speak. I want to write. And so I intentionally forced myself to start doing those things. And just that effort and that courage is what began to transform the rest of my life. Because once I began to see that people enjoy what I'm doing, them giving me positive feedback, then I began to be more positive as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting because do you think he did that on purpose? Or do you think that was just like one of those side notes that he said and you were like, fuck, like I'm wearing a bright pink dress and you think that, or you could see right through me that like, I want to
Mhm.
be invisible or like, that's not what I'm trying to do, but that's kind of inadvertently what I'm doing.
I think all of it was by design. I mean, I don't think it was planned, but I think he was just in observation, well, let me check her too, because she don't have her stuff together, you know. So that's basically what he did. And it I think about that so often because if it hadn't been for that, I would have never known that I was that lost.
It's crazy too, because if you look at how things happen, you probably still would be married, but you would be
Mhm.
miserable.
Well, probably not. Probably not.
Ah, well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
fuck him.
Now,
Fuck.
now I might not have gotten out of it so fast, but here's the thing that Dr. Phil said to us when we were in the room. He said, there are no accidents. And I truly believe that. You know, the people that needed to be in the room the most, the 42 of us, were the ones that were chosen for that particular time in our lives. And I needed that because what I really realized is that I was walking around dead, just didn't know it. You know,
Damn. That's some deep ass shit. Walking around dead. And
exactly.
it is crazy too, like because I think so many people get so away from it, they don't notice, like you said, right? You were walking around like a fucking zombie for who knows how long, and you
Mm-hmm.
only started to notice how much time that you were walking around like that once you became so much more active in your life.
Right. And so, you know
That's
what I
crazy.
thought when my grandfather died, because I was so fond of him, and it was like my whole world ended. But I felt like when he died, I died too. And so I felt like I had to
Yeah,
show the world how sad I was and how depressed I was. You know, the things that I was into in terms of fashion and, you know, all this outward stuff. I stopped even doing that, all the makeup, because I was like, I got to let everybody know how bad I feel. But that's not honoring my
girl.
grandfather's memory because in contrast, he was this lively, vibrant person with lots of charisma. Everybody would gravitate toward him. So me being dead, how am I honoring the grandfather that I love so much? I'm not.
That's I mean, I will tell you, like, I mean, we talked about this on your podcast. And also to everybody, check out her podcast. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I remember when I was going through my divorce, well, when we were in the lowest point of my marriage,
Mm-hmm.
I was the biggest I ever been. I was 175 pounds. I remember I didn't do my hair. I barely wore clothes that made me feel good about myself. I just did the bare minimum of fucking shit to survive. And I didn't realize it till I came out of my divorce that I was like, I was walking dead.
Yeah. Right. See, so you
Life
know
was
what I'm
happening
talking
to me. Oh, I know what you're talking about, but it was scary because I didn't acknowledge, I didn't realize that like your outward appearance and how you feel about yourself are all kind of explanations of like what's going on in your life. It mirrors things and you don't even notice it.
about. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and it was crazy because I remember like luckily I have such a good amount of friends that literally would never I had like one or two friends that were like, you gained some weight. But my friends, for the most part, would try to be as supportive as possible because they knew I was in such a tender place. But I look
Mm.
back on pictures and I'm like, what the fuck, Nick? Like, what the fuck were you doing? And, you know, it is one of those things that once, like you said, you get feedback from people who see your positive shit and they're like, oh, damn, like, you know, it's kind of like a residual effect. But I completely get it. I understand what you mean when you're saying you're walking like a zombie because it's scary. You can look back, you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know that person. I always joke, I'm always like, that's fat because I was a completely different person. Like I didn't even know who I was. I remember there would be times, I'm going on a tangent, I'm gonna stop in a minute. There would be times
That's
that
all right.
literally because I felt so alone in my marriage, right? And like you said, right? Eventually we probably wouldn't have ended up together because it just wasn't good enough for me. But
Mm-hmm.
during the whole process of like getting over it and dealing with it and being like, okay, like I'm not happy in my marriage. Because I would say, well, I'm not happy in my marriage. This is what married people go through, right? And I remember there was a couple times that he would come home and I'd just be sitting there crying.
Really?
And I knew why I was crying. I remember he left me one time, I was sitting on the carpet just crying. And he was like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know. But I knew it was because I was unhappy. I was miserable. I was like, fuck, this cannot be life. The way I'm living my life right now, cannot just be what life is. There's no
Mm-hmm.
fucking way that I can live my life like this. Just kind of sitting in the back seat, letting life happen to me instead of actively doing shit about it, doing things I want to do, doing things that make me feel good. So, you know, not taking that active role can bring so much depression, can bring so much stress, and then it does affect everything else.
Exactly, because you're not fulfilling the highest expression that you know you can fulfill. You know, not doing that, and so how can you be happy with yourself? And just like you with the weight thing, I also had that as an issue too. 2014, I lost 50 pounds and I went to the doctor. She was like, you got to cut out all these chocolate chip cookies and milk duds and sweet tea and all this stuff. So that also was a big transformation for me too. So that's been 7 years now that I got rid of that. I had a lot of weight on me, Nikki. I had the physical weight and all the mental weight. So
Yeah.
getting rid of both of those things, that's why I'm now able to do all of these things that I thought I would never do because I was too shy, too quiet, too fearful, etc.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, the one thing I can really relate with you, and I think that we kind of bonded over this, was because we both went through a divorce, and we kind of, uh, are in better places. But I will tell you, I feel like now, and my best friend will tell you because I'm always fucking talking to her about it. But I feel like you and I feel like you could help me with this and something like that. But just moving forward, I know what I deserve,
Mm-hmm.
but I still kind of, and I think, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it seems like at a certain point in your marriage, you knew what you deserved, and you had to make the hard decision of letting it go.
Right. And you know
And
what?
I
What I
think where
did
I'm
say,
struggling is, especially, go ahead,
no, go ahead with this raggedy internet I have.
girl. Normally it's me. Normally it's me.
They don't want
What
me
were
to
you
be
saying?
here. I think that's what it is. No, I was going to say, and I've had 2 divorces, by the way. So
Yeah.
I'm a
I didn't want
pro.
to business out there, but yes, I know.
I'm a pro at divorce.
But what I will say is that I think the one thing I'm struggling with now is like recognizing the positive, recognizing the good place that you're in, recognizing the benefits, your worthiness, and all these things. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I really am struggling with the decision to always actively choose myself. Because we talk about choosing ourselves, but we also don't talk about how bad it sucks. Because sometimes not choosing yourself is an easy way and it feels good. It's like a hit of a drug.
Mm.
And it's crazy because, the reason why some people say in such toxic situations or toxic relationships is because it's easy.
Yes. Right. It
And
is.
I have been struggling with just kind of like recognizing that I always have to pick myself,
Mm-hmm.
but the ramifications hurt my fucking feelings. It just makes me sad that I have to let go of people. It makes me sad that I have to not have these things. And I feel like you and I can relate to it. I just want
Yeah.
to know, do you have any advice or thoughts, or like how do you accept that, like, I mean, and that's my thing, right? I try Pinterest, I talk to people. I really do struggle with letting go of those toxic people in my
Mm.
life. It exactly. Korean adopted said, I think it makes you mad. It does. It makes me mad. And I don't know. I kind of want to know what your thoughts on, like, how do you, how?
Well, okay. So I can relate to that. But so I grew up, I'm an only child. So I know how to be selfish, you know.
Yeah.
That's my default. I know how to be selfish. But just like you, I've been involved in toxic relationships where I would allow my mood to be dictated by how good the relationship was or wasn't.
Girl,
And so,
yes.
yes, crazy. It's crazy that we would give our power to somebody else and allow them to create our feelings and our emotions. If if I hear from this person, I'm happy and I'm upbeat. But if there's several days where I don't hear from them, I'm all sad and all. That's ridiculous. But I had to get there. And you know what happened was in 2017, 18, I got into a new relationship. And this person lived out of town, and we would communicate every day. Then it got to the point where he says, I don't want to talk every day. And I'm like, what? We've been doing this And so he basically stopped all of that and let me know that he didn't
Wait,
want
hold
to
on.
do it every day.
You broke up. Go back. You guys talked every day, and then what?
We talked every day, and then all of a sudden he was like, well, I don't want to talk every day, because he started to break the pattern of every day. So when I mentioned it, he says, well, I don't want to talk every day. And I'm like, what? That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he was doing that. And so that broke me out of that habit of talking to him, because I had to grow up and say, okay, this is crazy that I'm allowing this to dictate whether I'm happy or not. And it was a tough process, but I had to just get my mind, just sit in that quiet time, because the time that I was spending with him wasn't happening anymore.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything but time. And then I sat, and then I realized, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm giving too much of my power away. And this person don't give a doggone about anything that's going on in my life. So why would I give them that power to do that? And so
Girl.
that's what broke me. And this, again, I'm saying I did this just recently, within the last 3 years of my life. Him doing what he's doing now. And now I refuse to give
Say
anybody
it again.
that much.
You broke up.
Sorry, I
You said
refuse to
him
give
doing what?
anybody him doing what he did in terms of breaking the cycle of us talking every day is what caused me to get out of that. And so now I know if I ever get into another relationship, my happiness, that's all on Tamela. It's got nothing to do with what they do or don't do. If they call, don't call, get you a gift, or they don't. So what? You got to create your own happiness. And that comes from going inward. And I do it in order to do this, focus every single day. There's not one day that I don't focus on thinking about what I'm thinking about and paying attention to how I feel. Because your body, your brain, your mind, it will let you know if you're on the right course or not. But if you don't pay attention to it daily, and I feed myself daily with positive things. I do affirmations. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos I listen to of people that are talking positive language, law of attraction, all of the stuff, manifestation. And so I've seen great results from doing that. Now I'm still trying to work on the
Yeah.
relationship part, because in terms of thinking positive, sorry about the breaking up, but in terms of thinking positive, I can imagine everything in my life except that relationship part. That's where I
Girl.
struggle.
Yes.
Yes.
Miss Handie,
It's
listen,
tough.
right now you are speaking my language. You are speaking my gospel, because I was actually talking about it. And I think it too comes from like being divorced. I really do, because I was telling my best friend about it. Like, I've been dating and it's so fucking depressing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
hard because, like I told you, like, it's hard to like it's the one thing I think in my life that I don't have control over. And it
Yes.
fucking drives me nuts, because
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that I have to waste time on people that are not worth my energy. And I know that. That's my problem. I'll know it and I'll be like, it's cool. You can waste a little bit more. We'll see what happens. Okay. But I let them waste my energy, and then I let them hurt my fucking feelings. And I was talking to my best friend about it, because I know what it takes to be in a relationship. I know what I need, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the older you get, the more that you have this fear of time, and you have this fear that, like, I have to find this person now.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely understand what you mean when it comes to relationships. It's the one thing that I'm like, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand you know, the break of the cycles and people's inconsistencies. And you know, I'm learning, right, that just means that you ain't about this life. And you got to
Exactly.
comma, but
Exactly.
my problem is that shit fucking hurts my feelings.
It does, and you, Nikki, it hurts mine too. But this is the thing: they can't be more important than you are.
Girl, I
You're,
know.
yeah. And so when I think about it like that, yeah, it hurts my feelings. And I used to lay down and die every time, a breakup, a disappointment, or whatever. But again, that's giving away my power, and I can't fulfill all of the things that I want to fulfill if I do that. So I'm at the point now, I don't care if I have a relationship or not. If I die by myself, so what? But everything that Tamela Handie wants to do outside of that, I'm still going to keep going and working toward it, no matter what. I don't give a doggone about me. If nobody likes me, nobody compliments me, I don't care anymore. But I had to get here. And like I said, but that's something that you really have to work on every single day, even to the point where you're getting obsessed with self-awareness, healing, and all of that stuff. And before we leave, and I hate that this is breaking up so much, but so this morning, because you all, I'm a poetess, and so this morning I got this idea of a poem. So I wrote this poem, and I want to share it with you before we
Wait,
go,
hold
because
up.
it's
You
all.
about to get off, girl? We here till 8 o'clock. What you doing?
No, we're not here at 8 o'clock because they're gonna lock my car up across the street.
Oh, damn it,
So
Miss.
I can no, I can
Listen,
I can
before I want to hear your poem, I definitely do. I want to hear it. Let me just tell you this though. We got to do this again. We got to do this again. Okay?
But no,
You're
I
breaking
can
up.
stay
We have to
until.
do this again though.
Okay, no problem. I would love to do it, but I can stay until probably for about another 15 minutes. But I got to get my car out the
Okay,
garage.
perfect. We got you. I want to hear you. I want to hear your poem. I want to hear about all of this. And then I also too want you to first of all, Sims Clayton, don't be trying to go on me. Then don't waste it. Go on quality dates. I be trying, okay? So don't come for me. And then Cassidy, sit your ass down. That's my best friend because she's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Whatever. Okay, anyways, I want to talk about for the last 15 minutes, your poetry. Let's go. Let's go. Whatever you want. I want to hear it.
okay, so and part of the healing, because this is the thing we have to do. We got to heal from this stuff. So you got to find out what is the thing that is your thing for healing. So mine has always been, since I was a kid, writing poetry. And so I would write down the ways that, the things that I'm feeling, my emotions, and that was therapeutic for me, in addition to journaling.
Yeah.
And so over my life, when I've had all these raggedy relationships and hanging around all these narcissists and evil, toxic, dysfunctional people,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
just write about it. And so now I'm in this process of healing from the bad choices, because I'm not going to blame it on anybody else. These are my poor choices that I made in
Correct.
terms of. But they always say the people that you choose, they're a mirror of who you are. So that's who I am and who I was. I was probably emotionally unavailable. Yeah, if I'm honest with myself, I was probably that as well. But I'm complaining about these other folks not being emotionally available. And I would be passive aggressive with people too, and then I get mad when they're passive aggressive with me. So I'm no better really than they are. But now I'm so conscious of that, again, because I've sat and analyzed who I really am and how I'm showing up in the world, and that is healing for me, so that
Oh,
if
yeah.
I ever get into another relationship, I won't make those poor immature. And that's the thing, the stuff is so immature, the stuff we do, we're too old to be acting the way that we act, you know.
Yeah.
And well, he did that, so that's what I'm gonna do, tit for tat is so stupid, you
Yeah.
know. So anyway, if you want me to do this poem, I can try to do it. I hope it doesn't break up. But
It won't.
so the poem is called Do Not Disturb. I'm on the tail end of a delicious healing from wounds that I once nurtured and ignored. I feel them leaving, and I can't wait to see them go. I'd rather be broke, blind, and homeless than flat on my back with a rootless tree planted deep inside of me.
Mm.
Ain't nothing free about healing, and neither is my divine femininity. I am the table and the chair. Have a seat if you dare,
Ooh!
and, and dine until you get full of the wisdom earned from leaning in to lessons learned. Allow me to introduce you to fruit that you've never tasted or seen. You see, I am the river and the shore. Like Maya Angelou, I didn't come to stay. I came to flow to my becoming. And each day I feel his presence more and more. What lies beneath this earthly vessel are triangles of trauma, outnumbered by prisms of sunlight that supersedes everything that tried to destroy me. Still I rise because deep and wide is the healing that sets me free and returns the keys to my divine femininity.
Damn. That was amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But you
Girl,
know, it's all about the healing that has to take place.
Miss Handy, I gotta get that tatted on my back. That shit was good.
Do
I
not
would,
disturb. No, don't let anybody disturb your peace and your healing. Nobody,
I
nobody,
will tell
nothing,
you that
nobody, nothing.
you know what, Miss Handy, I will tell you, it's been such a pleasure meeting you, right? And it's crazy because I do these things because I want to promote the women on Girltellme. I want to just promote the women I've met. I want to promote everything that's inspirational about all of you. And every time I do this shit, every single time I get something from it.
It's a
Every time. I
the
feel
the
whole. I
power.
feel like, go ahead.
Yeah, the power and the energy that we get from drawing from each other and sharing these experiences and lifting each other up. Instead of trying to tear us down and be so competitive. No, we have to get together to get the strength that we need so that we can stop dealing with people who are not worth our time, with their behaviors, and stop settling, stop allowing, and stop discounting who we are just so we can have a relationship.
Damn. Damn, girl, you ain't got to read me like that. You ain't got to read me
I'm talking
like
to
that. Oh
I'm,
my
I'm,
gosh.
I'm talking to myself as well. These are all lessons. I don't have all of this mastered. Now that I know it, though, I can't unknow it. So I got to continue to behave in the way that, with the knowledge that I now have, and show it and exhibit it. I'm
Amen.
telling all these folks out here on my podcast and stuff, this is what we need to not do, but I got to live it, and that's a struggle every day. But I
Ugh,
keep moving forward in that direction and trying to be a better person every single day. It's a nonstop process.
it really is. I needed this conversation today. I needed this talk because I've been in my feelings about an unsuccessful situation. And I knew it wasn't right. I knew
Mm-hmm.
it was with my time and I knew I was settling.
Yeah,
And consistently, I tried to make it work because at the end of the day, I need to have a conversation with myself that's like, why are you willing to settle? And it's because I'm scared. I want to
mm-hmm.
that love, but I also am going through the process of acknowledging that that love should not be so hard to work for.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. I've heard someone say, just I think it was yesterday, your relationship does not have to be work. I'm not saying it's going to be just roses, but if you find yourself exerting more energy and trying to put out all these fires, that's something ain't right there.
Yeah,
you
no.
know there's imbalance there. So
Yeah, no, definitely. And I appreciate just you kind of opening up about that because you know, you are saying the right things for me. I'm taking something. I know everybody else, the people in the comments are going crazy, but like you really are, you know, that illuminating presence. So if you ever question it, at
Oh,
least you have that power, and it's fucking dope. Like, don't get it twisted.
wow. Thank you so much. You just, I'm so happy and pleased to hear that because really working on myself, I have transformed so much. And if you would have seen me, that person that I was 20 years ago, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the same person, And I'm saying
Well,
that because if there's anybody that's listening that thinks, I'm always going to be this way, only if you choose to. Because I could tell you, as
exactly.
messed up as I was, and to be where I am, and I'm still working on myself, I have so much more that I can achieve. But if I can get here, I know any of you can as well. You just got to make that a choice.
Yes. Okay. So Rachel says, please take the name of the podcast. I need to listen to more. So now let's talk about the podcast since we only have a couple more minutes with you. Girl, shoot your shot. Tell everybody about it. You know I'm going to promote it, but I want everybody to get a piece of Miss Handie. So tell us.
Okay. Thank you for asking about the podcast. So the name of it is Gumbo Nights with Miss Handie, and I was born in Louisiana, so I just decided to throw the gumbo in there just to be cute. But
I like
the
it.
podcast is about a variety of different topics, which is what gumbo is, a bunch of different ingredients mixed together. So funny, there's going to be things about work, there's going to be
You cut out.
things about there will be things about relationships, work, funny things, just all a hodgepodge of topics. And I also have guests on. I had Nikki on my last episode. And so
Yup.
check it out. It is available on all of the major podcast platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, all of those things. And they're short episodes. So if you don't have a lot of time, that's fine. Usually they're like 10 or 15 minutes for the episodes that I do by myself. But when I have a guest, they're a little longer. But you can generally find out what they're about just by looking at the title and see if it resonates with you. But I would love for you all to listen to it and subscribe to the podcast. Let me know what you think about it.
Of course. Of course. Yes. Okay. So what's next for Miss Handie? What's next for Gumbo Nights? Is it Gumbo Nights? Or are you coming out with a poetry book? Like, what are we doing?
Well, I have over 100 poems that I've written, and I've been sitting on this for years. I need to get the poetry thing going, but I'm working on doing sort of a memoir, so I can talk about the Dr. Phil thing and the evolution and how I've become this new version of myself, the version that I was designed to be. So that's really my main focus, but poetry is my first love. So I want to do more of that, do actually a recording with poetry, with music behind it, all those things. So
Girl, you could,
possibilities are endless, but
your
I'm
voice,
open.
it's everything. Like, this is everything, Miss Handie. Do it.
Oh,
Keep going with it. I want you to succeed. I'm excited for your next version, the journey of what you want to do, because like it's great. It's really good. And
thank
you know, if you're holding on to all these poems, put them bitches on some paper and sell them, because it's easy to publish a book if you already have the content. Don't hold on to that shit. Make it an ebook, read some on your podcast, because people want to be a part of that. And I want to be a part of that. So don't hold out too long.
I won't. I won't. This has been great. I'm so glad that you invited me to be on, and I really enjoyed this.
Of
So
course, I love your energy. So anytime.
thank you, and I would love to come back if I'm asked. I'd love to come back anytime.
Yes. Guys, too, check out the podcast that we did together. Aside from all the other stuff with Gumbo Nights, we talked a lot more about divorce. Miss Handie did not know that I was divorced, but we talked about settling and relationships and love and different forms of love. And I loved it. I thought it was a great conversation. Um,
It was. You really shared. You were very transparent and you delved deep into a lot of the things that we're talking about now. So I would urge all of you, if you haven't listened to it yet, to check out the episode with Nikki on it. I think you'll get some much needed information and value out of it.
yeah, and I'll tag you and I'll put it in another post so we can promote it again, because
Okay.
we're talking. I think it's great. I don't know how much longer you have. How much longer
Well,
do you
I
have, Miss
probably need to
Handie?
head out. I probably need to head out now because I got a little ways to go to walk so I can get over there. So, but I'm
Well,
sorry
I
I'm
know your
cutting
fly
out.
ass is
I
probably wearing.
apologize to I apologize to everybody that's listening that the internet is wonky here
No, whatever. They're used
in
to
this
me.
building.
They're used to me. They're used to me. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well,
let me.
next time it won't be that way.
It's okay if it is. It's fine because you got the message across. You touched people in this thing. You touched me, and that's all that matters.
Well, thank you. That's all it was. It was worth the time. I love being here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, so look, I'm not even gonna hold you because you know I'm gonna keep on talking, and then you're gonna be like, "Bitch, I gotta go." So thank you so much. You are an inspiration again, like I told you. Guys, I'm going to put all her information so you can follow, like, subscribe, do all those things. It is Gumbo Nights with Miss Tamela Handie. Miss Handie, thank you so much for being on this. And we will schedule another time because I felt like we were just getting to the iceberg tip of the top of all the shit that we could talk about.
Yeah, because look, I had notes. I got all kind of stuff that I didn't get to share because we didn't
Girl,
have time.
say
And
less. We'll do
there's
it.
some stuff in here that I really, really, really want to talk about that's important. So whenever
Okay,
you have
dope.
me
I'll
back,
put it on
we'll
the
do
calendar.
it. Okay.
I'll put it on the
Thank you.
calendar.
Thank you all for
All right,
being
well, have
kind to
a
me.
great day.
Thank
You
you for
look
being kind
beautiful.
to
I
me.
always tell you that. You look amazing. And yeah, thank you for being on.
Thank you, and thank you all for listening to me and being kind. This is my first time going live, so I made it.
You did a great job. You did
Well,
so
thank you.
good.
Thank
You did.
you.
So we'll do it again. Guys, thank you so much. Miss Handie, everybody.
Thanks,
We'll see you
everybody.
soon. And we'll talk. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks. Y'all have a good
Bye.
evening. Bye.
Oh, now it's the awkward, like, how do I get off? How do I okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
don't know what to
bye.
do. Oh, I got it.
All right, bye. Okay, now I have